When real estate agent Ashley Scott and investor Renee Walters came across the opportunity to purchase land in Toomsboro, Georgia, they saw more than just property for sale. They envisioned a sanctuary for Black families, a tangible manifestation of the social justice and unity they had long advocated. For $1,700,000, they could transform a 97-acre plot into a thriving community that prioritized safety, empowerment, and cultural solidarity. This ambitious endeavor, known as the Freedom Georgia Initiative, has since captured national attention, sparking conversations about self-determination, collective resilience, and the complexities of building a new community. For both Scott and Walters, the vision for freedom was born out of deep personal concerns. We both have Black husbands. We both have Black sons. And I was starting to get overwhelmed with anxiety whenever my husband left the house for work, Walters explained. Against the backdrop of heightened racial tensions and nationwide protests against systemic injustice, they sought a proactive solution. What can we do? Walters asked herself. Then came a viral post about Toomsboro being up for sale. Although the entire town wasn't actually available, the uninhabited acreage surrounding it was. To Scott and Walters, this was the perfect opportunity to create a safe haven, a modern-day Black Wall Street that could foster unity, innovation, and economic empowerment. Under the Freedom Georgia Initiative, 19 Black families joined forces to purchase the land. Their goal was not only to build homes, but also to cultivate a village where Black families and their allies could thrive. For Scott, the mission was deeply personal. We needed to create a space and a place where we could be a village again, a tribe again. We wanted to create this safe space where we can address our own issues and concerns. Freedom, as the land is now called, is envisioned as a self-sustaining community prioritizing safety, cultural pride, and economic growth. While the initial purchase included an impressive array of amenities, such as an opera house, a school, a restaurant, and a gas station, the families focused their efforts on developing the uninhabited surrounding land into a residential and communal hub. Despite their aspirations, creating an exclusively Black city has proven to be a complex and legally fraught endeavor. While the families openly express their desire to establish a pro-Black community, they acknowledge the challenges of maintaining racial exclusivity. As Scott explained, it's impossible to have anything exclusively Black because our families are integrated. We are an integrated, tolerant, and diverse community, even as Black people. The founders emphasize that freedom is not about exclusion, but about fostering a space that uplifts and centers Black culture and values. They welcome individuals who align with their mission, regardless of race, as long as they share the community's goals and beliefs. However, achieving their vision requires navigating legal and constitutional barriers, including the U.S. Constitution's freedom of movement and prohibits discrimination, which guarantees freedom of movement and prohibits discrimination. To become an officially recognized city, freedom must meet certain legal requirements and refrain from policies that could be perceived as discriminatory. This includes adhering to federal and state regulations that ensure equal access and non-discrimination. A single lawsuit challenging the city's practices could derail its progress, posing a significant economic threat. One potential workaround would involve foregoing state and federal resources, such as public schooling, postal services, and government grants. However, such a move would significantly hinder the community's ability to provide essential services and infrastructure, especially in its early stages. The trade-off between autonomy and access to resources remains a central challenge for the founders. The Freedom Georgia Initiative's vision extends beyond land ownership. The founders have called on Congress to provide reparations for Black Americans, arguing that financial restitution is necessary to address historical injustices and systemic inequities. Through their Facebook page and other platforms, they advocate for reparations as a means to support initiatives like theirs and to empower Black communities across the country. While the group is optimistic about their long-term sustainability, they acknowledge the need for external support to fully realize their vision. From infrastructure development to community programs, the initiative's success will depend on a combination of grassroots efforts, private investments, and potential government assistance. The Freedom Georgia Initiative is not the first attempt to create a self-sustaining Black community. Historically, Black Americans have established prosperous enclaves, often in response to systemic exclusion and racial violence. One of the most famous examples is Greenwood, Tulsa's Black Wall Street, which thrived in the early 20th century before being destroyed in the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Other examples include Nicodemus, Kansas, founded by formerly enslaved African Americans after the Civil War, and Mound Bayou, Mississippi, established in 1887 as an all-Black town. These communities exemplify the resilience and ingenuity of Black Americans in creating opportunities despite systemic barriers. However, they also highlight the challenges of sustaining such spaces in the face of external hostility and economic pressures. The Freedom Georgia Initiative's emphasis on tribalism has sparked debate about the balance between cultural solidarity and inclusivity. Critics argue that self-segregation undermines broader efforts to combat systemic racism and promote integration. However, supporters contend that creating safe, empowering spaces for marginalized groups is a necessary step toward healing and progress. Scott and Walters reject the notion that their initiative is exclusionary. Instead, they frame it as a proactive response to systemic challenges, a space where Black families can thrive without fear or marginalization. This is about creating a space where we can breathe, where we can be ourselves, and where we can build a future for our children, Scott said. As freedom takes shape, the families involved are focused on building infrastructure and establishing a sense of community. Plans include residential housing, communal spaces, and sustainable agriculture. The initiative also prioritizes education, with the goal of creating schools that center Black history, culture, and excellence. Economic empowerment is another cornerstone of the vision. By fostering entrepreneurship and supporting Black-owned businesses, the founders hope to create a self-sustaining economy that benefits both residents and the surrounding region. Community events, cultural festivals, and cooperative initiatives are also planned to strengthen bonds among residents and celebrate Black heritage. The Freedom Georgia Initiative represents a bold experiment in self-determination and collective action. While the challenges are significant, the vision is inspiring. For Scott, Walters, and the families involved, freedom is more than a plot of land. It is a symbol of resilience, hope, and the power of community. As the initiative continues to evolve, it will serve as a case study in the possibilities and complexities of building intentional communities in the 21st century. Whether it becomes an officially recognized city or remains an informal settlement, Freedom is already making a powerful statement about the importance of safe spaces and collective empowerment in the fight for justice and equality.